Hi, Sharon Danley here with another 2-minute makeup tip. Last time we discussed and I demonstrated a thin brow and a thicker brow and a demi-lash. Today and a full lash. We're going to look at eyeshadow and lips with two different shapes. Keeping in this 20s theme on this side, I will keep things thinner, but the eyeshadow will be fuller. On this side, keeping the lips fuller along with the brow, and the eyeshadow would be treated with a highlighted lid and the crease to be defined. Okay, for this side, which is going to have more of a kind of a 1920s theme to it, I'm going to use a wide brush, like a dome brush, and I'm going to be using this medium gray shade here, and I'm going to fill, let me just pull this in closer for you. I'm going to fill in from my lash line right up and spread it out like that 1920s look. The trick with this is to deposit the weight, the heaviness, deposit along the lash line and then spread it up so it gets finer and finer and finer. It's the distribution that's the trick in this too. Make sure you can see okay, because I don't have a director. And I'm just loading along the lash line first. I mean, you could just do that too and go. There's so many ways of doing things. Now I'm bringing it up. And again, I put the weight or the heaviness of the shadow down at the bottom and then spread it up and out. Now, for my eyes, I have to stand back, and it's one thing to look in the mirror, and if you notice when I'm putting on my makeup, I look into the mirror this way. You get a much truer look. But then I have to look with my eyes relaxed and see where this part of my eye is falling down over top. So I have to adjust for that and bring it up further so that it goes over top of where it's falling down. And I can always remove this later, or I could put a piece of tape on there to stop me from going past that point. But that's not now. What I'm going to do is take a finer, thinner dome brush, and I'm going to add some of the darker color, the almost the black, but it's a dark charcoal, and I'm going to drop that right along the lash line to darken this up. Going along the lash line almost like an eyeshadow, or not an eyeshadow, but an eyeliner. But I'm spreading it out. And at the end, I wing it, but I soften it too. I blend it out. There you go. So also with this look, I'm going to dip my brush into both a gray and a black with the same brush in my hand. And I'm going to softly blend it along the bottom. And I make, even with the powder, I'm going into my my waterline. So there is an eyeshadow approach that is more of the 1920s look with the thinner brow, the eyeshadow dropped at the lash line and spread up and out. It gives a particular look. And then I'm going to take some like a white, just a tiny little bit at the arch, just at the arch in here. That is all. And there you have it. So if I pull back, you can see this is with a demi lash and a thinner brow. I'm going to take a white mixed with that Naked Lunch from MAC. It's got a slight shimmer in it. When you mix the shimmer with a matte for an older eye, or that one that has some crepe in it, it doesn't show up the same way as it does when you just add shimmer by itself. Okay, now I'm going to take a taupe color, which is really good for any kind of contouring. And I'm going to go in here, the top side of the crease, not the bottom side, but the top side. And I'm going to put more weight in here than I am at the end at this stage of my life, because this part of my eye is dropping down, you can see. And I'll also have to go over over top of where, because this sits over top of the crease, I'm going to have to bring my crease line up over top of that, if you know what I mean. Anyway, you'll see what I mean if I'm not making any sense. So just going into the crease line, and now I'm coming up. Stand back, just clean off. We'll move back a little bit. Quite a difference, isn't it, in looks? So also what I'm going to do is take that taupe and just bring it around underneath my lash line a little bit too, because I really like the look of any eye, but especially an older eye where there's a little bit of weight on the underside or on the bottom lash line, just a little bit of shadowing. It just makes it look better as far as I'm concerned. Just along the brow, just underneath the brow there. So if we look back, now that's not with any eyeliner or anything. So there's two different evening and that sort of thing. But now I'm going to add an eyeliner, because eyeliners are hot this season. Not that that should matter to us, but just so to show you that when you add a liner, what that can also do. Now I always prefer to use an eyeshadow as a liner. So I'm going to dip this into a black liner. And I'm going to go on top, but very thin on the inside here. And I'm going to have a slight wing at the end. Not a big one, just a slight one. And again, just darken that up underneath a bit. Blend it. Now, you can see the difference that adding an eyeliner makes. So we pull right back. There's your two different looks. To me, this side looks fresher, brighter, good for daytime, etc. This side here is more dramatic, and it tends to pull my eye down, although this eye has a tendency to look smaller now than this eye anyway, so I'm not helping. I should have done it in reverse, but I didn't. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the lips. I'm going to make this lip on this side with this color smaller and more in keeping with the look of the 1920s. And of course, because they use the darker lip colors, that's why I'm using this dark red. Now let me make sure I can see. So I'm going to augment this part. And make it very fine down at the bottom. Now I'm going to do almost the same thing, thinner towards the outside, and then bring it in a little bit thicker. Now, this is strange, isn't it? But it shows you, and I'm using, by the way, the Maybelline 24-Hour Superstay. It is the best as far as I'm concerned. But isn't it interesting how, you know how they say to you, and I'm going to back this up a little bit here. They say to you that when you get to this age, you shouldn't be wearing dark colors because it just makes the lips smaller. Au contraire. It does not do that. In fact, older women with lighter hair, Caucasian skin, need a bit of a contrast in their lips. They need their eyebrows well-shaped and they need a strong lash line. That contrast looks a lot better on us than having light eyebrows and light lips. We just tend to fade into our skin and our hair. So I'm going to tighten this up again for you a little bit. And now on the other side, I'm going to use another color and take a different approach, and I'm going to augment the whole area here and down here. And then we'll just see what we think about it at the end.
Okay,
but
so now I'm going to add on the outside here and make it fuller this way.
Now also, what I tend to do with this, and this is number 115, by the way. Also, when I'm wearing my lips this way, I tend to put a lighter shade, which is number 110 I'm using, in the center here. As it's another way of augmenting the lip and making it look a little fuller on the inside. So, see the difference in shape? Goes to show you, and especially when you use the darker shades, you can change your lip color. You can make it rich and full. You can give it a 20s theme or look. Now, isn't it interesting when I put lipstick on, what a difference it makes in the overall look? And if I just put on a gloss or something like that, it's not going to have the same impact. Even with, and I'll bring my hair forward because I always do that, you know, Cosmo hair. All the hair at the back comes to the front. Anyway, with the two different looks in eyes and the two different looks in lips, you can see that both work, but they're different. So here's the one side, and here's the other. What I love is that it gives you some great choice, and you can experiment, play around, and just see whatever suits you. Again, this eye, from my perspective, is good for more of a dramatic evening look when the lights are low, that sort of thing. This has got a fresh, interviewed kind of a look, and you can still get even a little bit more glammy with it if you want to. It's unlimited what you can do. But it's interesting when you use the right products and you play around with shaping and correction, just how much different, how many different looks you can get with just a few products. And just to make a point, do you notice how I didn't use any contour on my face except for my nose and under here? But notice how, because I used a highlighter in the center, my face looks bright. And it doesn't look like I've got, you know, the old-fashioned tire marks that they used to use when they were contouring. Anyway, I'm happy with this. I'd love to hear your viewpoints on what you think about the one side versus the other, or would you prefer a mixture of each? Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.